What's up, everybody? It's WODU Studios, the best in college radio, hosting KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brendan Avin, with my co-host to my left, Rashad Pennell, my co-host to the far right, Kyle Lewis, and our guest today, Rudy Henderson, who's gracing the set. We have a good amount of topics for y'all today. Starting with the college football rankings, man, those rankings, I want to. It's up for debate. Many people have their own opinion who should be number one, who the 1 through 4 should be. So that we'll get into that. We'll talk about also the Marcus Page injury and what that means for UNC since they're ranked number one in the AP index. Then we'll also get into talking about the Colts firing their offensive coordinator and what does that mean for the team. And I mean, was it really necessary for them to fire the offensive coordinator? Then we'll also get into the NFL predictions and other things. But yeah, starting off with the college football rankings. Recently, the committee finally released the rankings of the top 25 teams in college football. But we'll go into the top 10, starting with number 1 Clemson, number 2 LSU, number 3 Ohio State, number 4 Alabama, number 5 Notre Dame, number 6 is Baylor, number 7 is Michigan State. Then number 8 is TCU. Number 9 is Iowa. Number 10 is Florida. So do y'all believe that the top 4 teams rightfully deserve to be there, especially with a lot of people having a lot of issues with Alabama being up there because they've lost the game when you have teams like Michigan State, TCU, Iowa, and Baylor who haven't lost the game. I mean, granted, and Alabama's coming out of the SEC West, but then you also have a team like Baylor and TCU that come out of the Big 12, and then you have Michigan State, and then Ohio State coming out of the Big 10 East, and then you have Iowa coming out of the Big 10 West. So I mean, and in the likes of the Big 10, the Big 12, you got like Oklahoma State, I think, and Oklahoma, and then the Big 10 East, you got Michigan also. They got Michigan there, and they got Penn State in there too. So I mean, those are also tough teams they got to deal with. While you have an SEC West. You have teams like Arkansas, you have LSU, you got Alabama, you got Ole Miss, you got Mississippi State. You got so many teams that you have to contend with. So, do y'all believe that they got the rankings right? We'll start off with you, Khalid.
Uh, for the most part, I don't really think so because they do have teams ranked on here that with no losses. They ranked 7th, 8th, 9th, and 12th and 13th. So I don't think they really got it right.
If you don't think they got it right, who do you think should be in the top 4?
Uh, barring Alabama and LSU, probably I want to say either Michigan State or Iowa, just to have them just though they are undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
They're all 8-0 right now. So I mean, it's very debatable the order of which the teams should be in there since there are like 8 teams that are undefeated at the moment. So right now, it's just looking all over the place for the moment for the top 25.
Okay, Rudy, who do you think should be who should be in the top 4 that at least is ranked in the top 10? Even if you maybe have a team that's not even in the top 10, who do you think should be in the top 4?
Well, as far as the top 4 goes, I agree with Clemson. I think they've been the most impressive team this season.
Who comes out of the ACC Atlantic?
Yes. Barring their schedule, they had to play Notre Dame and some other tough teams, and they've passed every test so far. They have Florida State this weekend, so
yeah,
that's a real big game for them. But LSU is fine.
Alabama this weekend.
Yeah, they play Alabama, so that's going to sort itself out. Leonard Fournette's been doing his thing, 150 plus in every game in the season. I do not agree with Alabama whatsoever.
That seems to be the issue.
They lost to an Ole Miss team that we found out wasn't as good as everyone thought they were. So I think Alabama.
They have one loss in the season though.
Ole Miss has 2 losses.
Oh, they have 2 losses.
They have 2 losses to Memphis and another team that they shouldn't have lost to. Although Memphis is actually pretty good this year. Okay. But and I'll talk about them later. But Alabama should be replaced to me by Michigan State or TCU. It seems like with these rankings, the Texas teams, when I say that, I mean the Big 12 teams, find a way to get left out no matter what. And of course, that's because they don't have a conference championship.
Yeah.
But either way, a good team is a good team. And you saw what that TCU team did to Ole Miss in that bowl game. Yeah. They dismantled them.
But, I feel like it's the old tale of the SEC
Oh yeah, I mean,
the SEC love.
I think
everybody
the rankings
assumes that the SEC is the toughest.
I think that the rankings are tailored to the SEC, whoever won the championship last year, and throw in the random ACC team, ACC or Big 12 or Pac-12. This year it's Clemson, the two SEC teams, and then they threw in Ohio State because of the reigning champs. If we're talking about being impressive, I don't even think they really deserve to be in there. But out of respect, we have to put them at least at 4 because they're the champions.
Who, Ohio State?
Ohio State.
Okay.
Because that just out of respect, but off of pure impressive wins, they haven't played anybody and they haven't looked good playing nobody.
Well, as far as top defenses go, Alabama ranks top 3 in all college football. They're ranked number 3. Michigan surprisingly number 1. Boston College is number 2. LSU is number 4, and Clemson is number 5. So Alabama's defense.
They still have that loss to Ole Miss. When you
When
you have teams behind Alabama and Baylor that's 7-0, Michigan State that's 8-0, TCU that's 8-0, Iowa that's 8-0, and then for that matter, what makes Alabama so much better than Florida at 7-1, Stanford 7-1, Utah 7-1, Memphis at 8-0, Oklahoma State at 8-0. Florida State at 7-1. You see what I'm saying? There's too many teams here that are undefeated and have the exact same records. Alabama.
I think it's also because of the competition they face. But actually,
I think it's because of their name.
We need to get to Rashad.
I just think it's because
Rashad, what do you
name.
think?
I agree with Rulian about the fact that Ole Miss, how you said, yeah, they lost to them, but that wasn't a good team. But also it's because they lost early in the season, which is why Alabama is still up there to some people. Yeah. But I don't agree with Alabama being there because for the fact that they still have that taint on their record right now with the loss.
Do you have the same top 4 just without Alabama?
No.
So
actually, for the most part, yeah. Let me look at it again. Yeah, for the most part, I do, but the order they have it, I don't agree with. Like, I don't agree how you guys say Ohio State should be like number 4 when they've been number 1 all season in the AP top 25 polls.
I can explain that though.
It doesn't matter if they've been impressive. They've been winning, and they've been the one. They haven't dropped any games. They haven't dropped any spots. And for Baylor, I still have Baylor up there because see, when people look at it, because Alabama's defense, their defense is so good, so you want to put them up there even though they lost, just because Baylor's defense isn't the best, and they want to go in a shootout and just outscore the team. What's wrong with that? Oregon did it. So, and Oregon made it to the college football playoffs last season.
And the championship.
Yeah, and the championship, you know what I'm saying? So, you can't really throw Baylor out because they don't have a good defense. They score a lot of points when they're the number 2 team on the AP top 20 polls. And top 25. And the number 3 total offense because that's what they do. All they do is just outscore the other team.
What do you think about what do you think about TCU? Because TCU's number 2.
See,
in offense.
You said what? Horned Frogs.
You're right, but when you also look at the AP, I also look at the AP top 25 poll where Baylor's ahead of them, and that right there is why I'll pick, because right there you always have those like who should be in, who should not be in. There's always those 2 close teams that like should they be in over this team, why and why not. But I feel like Baylor right now, especially since they're ranked number 2, should be above TCU.
But TCU,
I have one thing to argue with that.
TCU consistently is left out of
there's a lot of TCU hate.
There's a lot of TCU. You can't really say they're left out, but there's only 4 teams that go.
But it was the same situation last year.
Yeah, it's the same.
Everyone felt like they deserved to be there. They got put in what was it, like the Orange or the Sugar Bowl or something, and decimated Ole Miss. It was a beat down of epic proportions. And then people were like, oh well, they look better than some of the teams that were in the college football playoff. And then it's a consolation prize.
Yeah. But that's I understand. That's why they're number 5 right now. But it's hard for like a team to basically, what am I trying to say? It's hard for a team to basically, get over that hump when you're constantly left at number 5 and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I would argue with the Baylor point is, and they have proved their worth this season because they put up a lot of points, they score a lot, they're impressive. There's 2 things that bother me about the whole Baylor being over TCU thing, and this is what I don't like about rankings in general. Baylor's 7-0, TCU is 8-0 in the same division. Baylor just lost their starting quarterback. TCU has a Heisman candidate, quite possibly the Heisman winner, and that's what That's what's really, and they haven't played anybody yet. To be fair, they have not played anyone yet.
You're
TCU has played, and TCU's strength of schedule is number 49 to Baylor's 109. So they have more wins, scoring as many points and playing better defense, but somehow Baylor's better. I don't get it.
We can't do that. We cannot sit here and do that because the quarterback's out. Say they should not be knocked out.
No, I'm talking about strength of schedule too.
If that was the case, Ohio State wouldn't have been in last season.
No. I didn't think Ohio State should have been in, but they won the championship because they were a good team.
But the thing is, when they voted on it, they voted on Ohio State making the college football playoffs at the end of the season once they saw Cardale Jones be able to win a game, and he won against Wisconsin.
But he was still in the running though.
Yeah, no, but they still won the game. No, but I'm saying these are it's not like they eliminated. No, but I'm saying they did postseason because when it's not these are just midseason rankings, so it's just like kind of like the weekly NFL power rankings. That's pretty much what these are, and essentially you're just pretty much gauging how good each team is and how good each team has been. And right now, Baylor's not better than TCU with our backup quarterback.
What you just said though, how have they been?
I know how good they are. I know. I said how good they.
You just said how good they've been.
Yeah, I said how good they are and how good they have been. Yeah, listen to all my words. I said how good they are and how good they have been. So
they
right
both
now,
been impressive.
They both been great. I'm saying TCU's had a better offense. Baylor hasn't. And right now, Baylor has lost their starting quarterback. So how can we say that Baylor is also going to consistently be better than TCU when TCU, and it hasn't been better than TCU? TCU's had a harder record, a harder schedule, and they won all their games. They won one more game than Baylor currently, yet Baylor's ranked ahead of TCU.
One thing I want to add to your point is TCU had an even bigger crutch than Baylor because Baylor just lost their quarterback last week. From the beginning of the season, TCU lost 11 defensive players to injury. And they've still been able to constantly produce. And against a common opponent in West Virginia, Baylor struggled. It was a shootout. TCU blew West Virginia out 50-10.
Yeah.
Like, if you're talking about impressive wins against similar opponents and they have a tougher schedule, I just don't understand how it is TCU is consistently the team that's on the outside looking in when they have the same strength of schedule or better than teams, have just impressive as a defense. And to me, the Heisman front runner for this year. I just don't understand it. If a team – and they still might be left out because Michigan State has a very strong argument as well. At the end of the day, someone's going to get left out of this playoff that doesn't deserve to.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
All right, let me ask one question real quick. So, how much do you think it is to y'all? How much do y'all think it is? Okay, so let me take a vote right now. If of any team, which team would y'all vote out of the top 4?
Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you're saying Alabama, how much do you agree that they got in there because they're in the SEC West?
I think they got in there because their name is Alabama.
I think they got in because they lost real early in the season, and they still after that they've just been on the roll.
So y'all don't think the fact that they're in the SEC West Conference plays any
that factors in.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm just asking because I mean think about it. These other conferences aren't scrubs now.
To tell you the truth, I think it's going to resolve itself though. Yeah, LSU plays Bama literally this weekend. Mm-hmm. I think LSU might drop another game before the season ends. That team's not as solid as I thought that they were. Their team is literally Leonard Fournette or bust, and their defense isn't as great as I thought they were. Mm-hmm. I think Alabama has a chance of dropping another one. I think Ohio State's going to lose. I'm actually fairly confident Ohio State's going to lose either to Michigan or Michigan State. They're losing to one of those teams, and that's horrible because Michigan State and Michigan are right at the end of the season. So if they catch that loss, they probably won't get in.
Yeah.
So as far as the top 4 goes, the only team that to me might be a lock if they can win this weekend is Clemson because they get past Florida State. It's easy breezy.
Yeah, but see that's the thing. See you just said it's easy breezy because the ACC is a basketball conference, it's not a football conference.
Yeah, they got 2 or 3 teams.
2 or 3, that's good.
Yeah.
So it's like that's how like if I didn't go Alabama, then I would have to say a Clemson team would have to be the one.
Wait, quick question: how do you feel about UNC not being ranked when they haven't lost?
They have lost. They lost one.
They lost one game.
They're
7-1.
Yeah. So,
but they still should be ranked.
I feel disappointed that I'm ranked
because there are teams that are 6-2 that are ranked.
And we have one of the highest power offense in the league right now.
And they have a great safety named Dominic Green. Just want to throw that out there. My old roommate.
So yeah, I mean, like I knew college football players. They're not going to include UNC in that. So I'm not really concerned, but I'm concerned about them not being ranked.
Two things I would like to bring up, though, is the disrespect for mid-major teams is unreal. The disrespect for Houston and Memphis is unreal. These two teams are undefeated and have earned their records, and you're putting them behind teams that are 6-2. That's disrespectful. That's so disrespectful.
But it's because of who they are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's because of who you are. But look, I always look back at this. Boise State didn't get any respect until they went to the playoff, went to a bowl game and had to beat Oklahoma and other big ranked teams. And then now people are like, oh, Boise State, got to look out for them. Yeah. But these other teams that are proven that they're good teams, because here's my one argument with the whole Alabama thing. Memphis beat Ole Miss, and people are like, oh, that's not a good win because Ole Miss isn't that good. But Ole Miss beat Alabama, and they're like, oh, well, you know.
Because if you think at the time, Ole Miss was 15.
At the time, but now that we've discovered that they're not that good of a team,
you think about it this way. Season breakdowns.
Yeah, think about it this way: the Oklahoma loss to Texas is a horrible loss because we know that Texas is not a very good team. But before the season started, if you had said Texas is going to be Oklahoma, people would be like, oh well, you know.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. But now that you're looking at the Texas team that's being put on the field, you're like, oh, these guys are awful because Oklahoma lost to that team. I don't see them jumping above 10 anytime soon.
I'm so salty. You know what I'm saying? I'm so mad about
By the way,
I'm
a University of Texas fan. I rub it in his face every day.
I'm so salty. Nick, we hurting, bro. We're hurting. We are hurting. But we're going to go on from college football to actually college basketball, in which, you know, number one, UNC in the AP polls, like Rashad was referring to, was ranked number one coming out because UNC always consistently has a great recruiting class. And, you know, they're bringing back a lot of experienced guards and talent. So now with Marcus Page, their starting guard, being injured with a broken hand, he's gonna miss 3 to 4 weeks. I mean, you can only imagine. I mean, he's a senior. It's gonna definitely hurt their chances, their rankings and their ability to play. They play their first game is on November 13th. So and I think that y'all opened up against Temple, right? Yeah, they opened up against Temple. So they're gonna be playing without Marcus Page. Yeah, they're gonna play without Marcus Page now, and Marcus Page was a player who, you know, was playing really well, especially in the tournament, because he's always had these little lingering injuries, but he's always managed to still be able to stay on the court and play. But now this is one that's gonna sideline him for a good while. So how do y'all think it's gonna affect the UNC and how they will progress at the beginning of the season without Marcus Page? We'll start with the UNC fan himself. Let us know how you feel, Rashad.
You know, it's hard when you lose a Tom Brady of the team. It's hard. It's hard when you lose basically like the only potential NBA player we have on the roster. Without him,
you said NBA player.
The only like NBA player already on the roster.
Calm down.
It's hard. It's hard. Marcus Page made NBA. He's going to the league.
Pick number 28.
Questioning whether he even has the physicality playing.
He's going to the league.
Just keep going.
He's a shooter.
Pick number 38.
He's the only shooter. He's the only guaranteed shooter we have on the team because we could not shoot last season. That's what we needed. We lack shooters, and Marcus Page is the only shooter we had. Losing him, person who averaged 15 points a game, your main man, your go-to. You got to give him the ball when it's coming down the last stretch. He's out.
Yeah.
And we're number one. See, the lucky part is he's out early.
Yeah. And wait until you finish it.
And you know, the first couple teams we play while he's gonna be out aren't bad. I mean, we can handle like Theo Pinson in there and Joel Berry and Nate Britt. We can handle it with them in there. But when it comes to like,
what about that freshman y'all got? Kevin, what's his name?
The shooter that transferred from
he's
a shooter. That's all. He's a shooter.
Boy can strike it. That's for sure.
So, Rashad, I'm not well versed on UNC. Not really a fan of UNC or Duke or the state of North Carolina. What did y'all recruiting class look like this year?
So our recruiting class has been awful for the past couple of years.
So
it's been Kentucky, and it's actually been Kentucky and Duke and stuff.
Well, I was just asking, like, did y'all bring back basically?
We brought some
sweet shooters, though.
No, what I'm saying, did you bring back? Did y'all?
We brought one sweet shooter.
Did y'all bring back basically the exact same team y'all had last year with like the new shooter?
We brought the new shooter. We lost JP Tokono, our strongest defender, and we brought everybody else back. So basically, we're a veteran team.
Basically, you have the same team from last year with a new shooter
now. With another shooter.
All right. Well, when you're done, I'll try to take next.
So that's basically why we're ranked number one, is because we have veteran players who's been, college playoff experience and everything now, and you come in with teams that you don't know what you're gonna have because everybody's doing one and done. So we're like, well, we know what they can do now with the team they have, plus another year of experience. So I understand why they should be number one. But now losing Marcus Page, which we needed most important than anything on this team, is gonna hurt tremendously. But if we can hold on until Maryland game, which is probably be our biggest challenge coming up,
Maryland's nine.
That's gonna be where.
Seth, why'd you transfer?
That's
Melo
where
Trimble.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where Marcus Page gotta pick up.
Let me hear what you got to say on the matter, Rudy.
Definitely a devastating blow. And I'm about to be super unpopular at this desk for this though. I didn't see where Marcus Page was that great. To be absolutely honest, he's a shooter. He's a shooter that can't really create his own shot. He runs off of a lot of screens.
He's honestly a shooting guard in a point guard's body.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, he's a shooting guard in a point guard's body.
Yeah, that's always why I'm just saying
from last season, unless he changed his game from last season, what I remember was him running around a lot of off-ball screens, trying to get open, and that's what the North Carolina offense was predicated around.
That's honestly.
But do you guys understand why he did that?
He did that
because they needed him to score.
Yeah. But this is what I'm getting to. This is what I'm getting to.
No, he's not a prototypical point guard, Rashad.
Because he averaged 17 points.
Marcus Page. No, not even because he averaged 17 points.
Where were his assists?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I think he averaged 7 assists a game.
That might be a little inflated there.
Yeah, my friend.
Well, back to the point I was making. I didn't see
5 assists a game.
Yeah, you inflated that by 2. but back to what I was saying. I'm not saying he's a horrible player. I just don't see where he is like this world-beating player that everyone needs to have. He's a great player that teams need to game plan for. I respect that. You lose that piece. I honestly, without him being there, I honestly don't know what North Carolina is going to look like because they weren't impressive to me last year whatsoever. So if they brought back the team from last year. With just a new shooter that's a freshman. We don't know if he's going to be ready to go. Bryce Johnson, the big man? Bryce Johnson's not really a scorer. He can't shoot free throws. Y'all have another big man, big light-skinned dude. Meeks? Yeah. He's good. I've seen Meeks is a good player, but when you are going against Temple in the first game, that's a rough game. Because Temple is always going to come to play. Maryland's going to come to play. Your division – Florida State, although not known as a basketball school, they got this point guard by the name of Xavier Raton Mays. That man's a dog.
Really?
That man's a dog. I saw him drop 38 points on a sprained ankle hopping up the court. He gave UNC problems last year. They got teams like Clemson, who are always a very strong defensive team, and they have Deontay Grantham that can score them some points. That might give y'all a couple more problems. And he's supposed to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. So we're talking about a month here where you don't have your best player and best scorer. And like you said last year, y'all needed him to score. So my problem with UNC coming into the season is where are you going to get your points from going against high-level competition?
Okay, let me go to Khalid real quick. Khalid, what do you think about Marcus Page's injury?
I think UNC losing Marcus Page is a punch in their gut. Like they are losing a pivotal piece for them to allow them to have that offensive presence. And then, like Rudy said, playing for a whole month against these high level teams, these very aggressive teams, I don't see it looking too well for UNC. Missing out and losing their shooter like that. They're one of their great shooters, and to an injury, and it's just not looking too well for UNC.
All right, so now I got a question. Do y'all think UNC should have been ranked number 1? Because here's the rankings in chronological order. You got North Carolina number 1, got Kentucky number 2, Maryland number 3, Kansas number 4, Duke number 5, Virginia number 6, Iowa State number 7, Oklahoma number 8, Gonzaga number 9, and Wichita State number 10, and Villanova also being number 11 rounding it out. And Arizona's number 12. Wow.
Yeah, Arizona lost a lot of players.
Yeah, they did.
They lost Hollis Jefferson and Stanley
Johnson. Do y'all agree that they should be ranked number 1? Obviously, Rashad's already said yes. Khalid, do you think that the rankings are correct and that UNC should be ranked number 1?
I don't see it.
You don't know what any of these teams is bringing this. Nobody knows what any of these other teams are bringing this season, other than the recruit class they brought.
Recruiting is a big deal. That's like
I mean, but they brought the same team back from last year.
Hey, but think about it. Recruiting is what made Kentucky so great last year. That's what everybody was picking Kentucky to win the championship last year because they had all them long, lengthy players at each position. Every position. You got the Harrison twins at the guard.
That's better.
No, I know they were there, but then you got Willie Cauley-Stein. You got all those guys. But I'm saying they were still lengthy guys, and you get. Now they bring in a longer recruiting class too. That's the thing that Kentucky always keeps consistently over everybody is their length. They do. You do need veterans. I'm not disagreeing with the fact that y'all got ranked. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that's the play. That's how recruiting class plays it. It's like in the NBA when a team's drafting Anthony Davis, you're gonna probably guess that team's gonna be better than what they were. And in recruiting, you're bringing in more than just one player. So when you're recruiting, I mean, these are projections off of the players you already got now, and then the players you will soon get. Mm-hmm. So recruiting plays a part in it.
I didn't say it didn't. I'm just saying we don't know what these teams are gonna have, which should make them guarantee number one.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying because UNC, you know what they're gonna have, they should be number one.
A shoddy offensive game.
They lost to Wisconsin last year in the tournament. Mm-hmm. Wisconsin was a great veteran team that made it. What did you want to say?
I said yes, but I don't think that y'all are the same caliber veteran team as Wisconsin was, though.
But we lost to them. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're right. We wasn't the same team they were. That's why they beat us.
No, I'm saying this year's UNC team, I don't think you can compare to last year's Wisconsin team. That's not the same level of veteran because they had 4 or 5 different players that could get it done for y'all. The only player I see getting it done for y'all is Marcus
I'm not really
Page.
comparing, though. I'm saying that's who we lost to in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we didn't make it to the national championship, of course, because, Duke won. But
I know that hurt to say. I know that burn coming up.
But another shout out to Nick.
But we lost to a great team that people won't even project us to make it to that team.
Brother, actually. Those two.
That won't even project us to make it to that game. So we made it for the expectation. So why can't we sit here and be like presume that we're going to be good this season?
Because like you just said, y'all can't shoot.
But we bring in a shooter.
One.
Hey.
And he's a freshman.
We can't see. We need to look at every single team's recruiting class.
And he's a freshman.
These guys have been tracking these guys throughout the whole summer, throughout their whole high school career. So I mean, we need to track them to actually say who has a better recruiting class. But from what it sounds like, from what you make it sound like UNC, Marcus Page is the one that makes everything go.
But then you give someone like a Nate Britt, Joel Berry more experience, more.
But Nate Britt's a senior. What more experience does he need?
Frank took 4 seasons. Frank Kaminsky took 4 seasons. Frank Kaminsky went from started on the bench to not averaging really anything in sophomore season to start being productive and then exploding out his senior year. Well, so what do you mean more experience than you need? So
no, but I'm saying he's a backup guard.
You're right, but it wish he might be become a starter now for the first 5-6 games until Marcus Page comes back.
Excuse me.
And he actually started some in the playoffs.
I want to intervene in here real
tournament.
All right, go ahead.
I agree that UNC should be in the top 5, but I do not agree that UNC should be number 1. Simply because Maryland is better than UNC. Melo Trimble is better than Marcus Page.
Melo Trimble's a
and
problem.
that team.
Where did that team go last year?
I mean, that team made the tournament and they ended up losing to a very high level team as well, just like UNC. I mean, it happens. You play teams that are better than you, but Maryland is better than UNC, in my opinion. Kansas
lose sooner than us?
I believe Maryland lost in the 3rd round.
I mean, it don't really matter.
I mean, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, both of y'all were at home.
Duke won the championship. They're not even ranked first.
I believe that Kansas is a better team simply because Kansas literally didn't lose really anyone. Like, literally, they lost Kelly Oubre, and Kelly Oubre can't play offense and was very raw on defense, and they had a good recruiting class. And Bill Self is always going to have that team ready to play. I think Kansas should be higher ranked than they are. I think Kentucky should be a little bit lower ranked than they are. The number 2, they're always going to give Kentucky respect off their recruiting classes. But as we see, I believe 2 years ago, it doesn't always work out. No. It doesn't always work out. When they had Nerlens Noel. It doesn't always work out because, you don't know what these guys are going to be like when they come in. Virginia, I'm going to have to see them in action before I say they're worthy of being number 6. That's a hard sell. They lost Justin Anderson. And a couple other pieces. Iowa State, I believe, needs to be higher than 7. they have the exact same team. I think it's because they lost their coach to the Chicago Bulls, but they literally have the exact same team that won like 25 games last year. Same thing with Oklahoma. They have the exact same team. Other than that, I pretty much agree with everything.
Word. Okay. Well, we could come on, man. We could
watch out for Texas playing basketball this year. Shaka Smart, new coach. Havoc defense in Texas. Havoc is in Texas.
That's the reason I got the shooter now. He was going to play for VCU.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, Shaka gone. I'm out."
Who was it? Who was the player that somebody decommitted from Ohio State actually recently? I was like, damn, my man just pulled a DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was, but
that's what the shooter we did, guys. That's what he did.
I mean, hey, when a coach leaves that recruited you, you know, see the way that it works with recruiting is like if your coach that recruited you leaves, when you get there, the new coach doesn't know who you are. So that doesn't mean you're really gonna have it's not a guarantee that you're gonna have a starting spot or a scholarship. He's gonna be like, who are you?
That's kind of how my friend Tay is at Averett. So, you know, earning a spot, about to be a starter. Yeah. A new coach come in, they gotta earn it all again.
Yeah. Who are you?
But going on from the college sports, we're gonna go on to some professional talk now. The big leagues. We're gonna talk about the NBA, and I didn't think this question would really be asked or really need to be asked, you know, for a good amount of time until the man upped and retired practically. But is LeBron James not the best player in NBA basketball anymore? Because could the question be posed that Steph Curry's the best? Could the question be posed that Kevin Durant could possibly be the best? It seems like for a while now, everybody's just automatically put LeBron James as the best player once Kobe fell from that air. So who is the best player in basketball? I mean, you got Russell Westbrook, you got Kevin Durant, you got Stephen Curry, you got LeBron James, you got James Harden. Who has the best overall basketball game and who is the best player? Let's start this topic off with you, Rashad. Who do you think?
It still has to be LeBron, but because he has a way better overall game than most of these players. Like, other person I can like sit there and kind of get close to overall game would be somebody like a James Harden, because most of these other people I name are like pure scorers, or other than like a Russell Westbrook. He's just a killer. I don't know what to say about him, but he's
a shark out there.
He's not over the top yet. I can't say he's the best player in the league, but I still have to give it to LeBron because just what LeBron does for his team, even though he's not winning the MVP right now or winning the MVP last season, or like it's not like consecutive like he's been doing. It's still like you can't take from what LeBron's doing in the league, how effective he is offense and defense and in the locker room and just everywhere in general when it comes to basketball, just how effective of a player he is. So you still can't take that away from him, because that's basically what Jordan was, how effective Jordan was offense and defense more than we got. You know, we have Steph Curry, who's, you know, we can't say nobody in there is a bad, who if we named is a bad defensive player, but you just have some who's just excel a little bit more than others. And then you have some who excel more at scoring. Like you got Steph Curry, who's no one's out like scoring better than this guy is right now. And, you know, LeBron's not even close to scoring like he's scoring, but you still have LeBron's overall game, what he can do more for a team than what I think Steph Curry can do more for a team.
Okay. What do you think, Khalid?
I have to give it to my man LeBron James, because you know, from like what Rashad said, his game is like his overall game is better. He is a better defensive player than Steph Curry. He's not as big of a shooter, but he is definitely more defensive. And overall, as a player, that he performs, you know, he does better for the team. I mean, this man led his team, a team that he was on, to the championship 4 years in a row. So, I mean,
that's
that right
five.
there. Oh, five. Excuse me. 5 years in a row. Not to mention being
I gotta give my man LeBron's credit, man.
You got to. Not to mention being able to carry a Cavs team in the finals against a high level Warriors team with their all stars, and him having lost Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. So that man put the team on his back, and still played very well in the playoffs.
Okay, what do you think, Rudy?
LeBron's the best, but the water's a little murky now. A couple years ago, it was clear cut. We could see it. He was the best. But I think there is a little bit of blood in the water now that we even have to ask the question. And I just need to throw out a couple of adjustments to some of the names that you threw out there. First of all, it's Chef Curry. It's Chef Boy Harden. It's Russell Goatbrook. You got their names wrong.
I had to turn off your mic for that one. I'll turn it back on, but that was ridiculous.
We have some relative haters here on the camera. The host is a hater. He's not a fan of the great Chef Boy Harden or Russell Goatbrook.
I'm not a fan of the names. I'm not a fan of the names. Goatbrook, when was Russell the greatest of all? No,
he is the greatest Russell Westbrook to ever play in the NBA.
I hate you all. No, that's not how you're using the name.
Goatbrook.
You're using the name to say greatest of all time.
That's exactly how I'm using it. The greatest of all time Brook. No. The greatest Brook of all time. Like, well, come on, man. Like, it's in the word. Like, it's not that hard to explain.
I'm so done.
And then don't get me started on the bearded one.
Rudy, who's your best player?
I've already answered the question. The best player is LeBron James for now. But in like 2 years, do not be surprised if it's like Rashad said, Harden, maybe Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis is struggling at the beginning of the season. So I don't know how his growth is going with who's the Alvin Gentry?
Yeah,
I don't know how his growth under Alvin Gentry is going.
They also deal with injuries also, and he's facing like triple teams on the nightly basis. Like teams don't even care about the guards anymore. Like
when your guards are Tyreek Evans and Drew Holiday, are they really guards?
Have been injured. You should see like the Pelicans games. Like I legit, but I'm not gonna say how I seen the game.
They need to go pick up Sebastian Telfair, greatest point guard to come out of high school.
I'm not gonna say how I seen the game, but when you see a Pelicans game, right? This is legit what the play is.
Drop.
It starts with Anthony Davis at the top of the key, right? Stands Anthony Davis at the top of the key or trying to post up. All you see is players just swarm. Like they don't care if they're on the same the shooters on the ball side of the court or whatever. If the shooters at the top of the key or nothing, they just leave entirely. Come and put a whole dang body in the paint and just stand there wait for Anthony Davis to make a move. Like Anthony Davis is suffocated.
So we're not gonna go around the Sebastian Telfair thing.
Anthony Davis is suffocated, and he just can't even get like a good dribble in before he gets double teamed.
Let us not forget that LeBron James made a movie after he saw Sebastian Telfair's movie.
LeBron James and his steady, you know, like Rudy was saying, with the water being murky. Stephen Curry's a bad boy. I mean, and he doesn't have the all-around defensive game that LeBron James has, but can't we say LeBron James doesn't have the same all-around offensive game that Steph Curry has? Because I mean, Steph Curry shoots better than LeBron, shoots better free throws than LeBron. He's a better three-point shooter than LeBron. He's a better overall shooter. He doesn't attack the basket like LeBron, but when he gets around, he's pretty efficient. I mean, the boy's shooting 51% practically right now, and you know, so. He's shooting 48% from three. So he does those things better than LeBron. He might not be as great a defender because LeBron can guard 1 through 5. But let's not act like Steph Curry's a slouch on the defensive side of the ball. He can play defense. I mean, the Warriors have led the league in defense. Granted, that's your team defense, but Steph Curry has to consistently night in and night out go up against the best point guards. Last night just went up against Chris Paul, and he has to put on a show every night, and he does that.
I think that Steph Curry is the most exciting player. And that's what that makes us think he might be the best. Sometimes to be the best, you may not be the most exciting. You know what I mean? You may not be the one who gets everybody riled up. Look at the Spurs. They're watching them play basketball is like watching paint dry, but they're good.
This is Steph Curry's stats on the season. He's averaging practically 36 points, 5.8 assists. He's shooting 57% from the floor, 52% from three. And he's averaging 2.2 steals. He's averaging 1 turnover a game. Like, he's averaging 5 rebounds, and he's shooting 94% from the free throw line.
Oh, I agree. He's a very bad man. I'm just saying, as it goes, like, we have to give it to LeBron, but I will acknowledge that Steph Curry is a close second where it used to be Kevin Durant.
So you think Kevin Durant's fallen off that?
I think Kevin Durant has fallen to 5th. I believe it's fifth.
Whoa.
You want me to give you a list? You want me to give you a list? Okay, I'll give you a list. No, a Kobe decline is all the way like 50.
Hold on.
No, I got you. I'm gonna tell you. LeBron. You agree that LeBron is better than Kevin Durant right now?
I'll agree.
Steph is better. If you were about to call Stephen Curry was the greatest player,
I'll accept that. I'll accept Steph. I'll accept. That's fine.
Harden.
Heck no.
Yes.
Heck no.
Yes.
Heck no.
I need Kevin Durant to come back for an entire season and do what James Harden did last year to get his spot back. And Russell Westbrook, that's secretly Russell Westbrook's team now. Kevin's fighting to get his own team back. He's fighting to get his team back.
Keep naming your players.
That's 4 players.
That's
4 players. I said LeBron. Yes, I said Westbrook.
Oh my goodness.
Westbrook, Harden, Curry, and LeBron are better than Kevin Durant right now. That is Westbrook's team until Kevin Durant earns it back.
Kevin Durant's averaging 29 points. He's averaging 2 assists. He's shooting 49% from practically 50%. He's shooting 41% from 3.
Hey, we're 6 games.
Now Russell Westbrook's averaging. Okay, now this is Russell Westbrook, but this question is being asked 6 games into the season.
Yeah, but I'm going off of.
So if we're going off of last year, Steph Curry doesn't need to be in the conversation.
What I'm saying, but Steph Curry was great last year. How would he not be in the conversation?
His numbers don't show that.
His numbers don't show that.
James Harden technically should be second. Then if we're going off of last year.
Okay, but when I said James Harden, you acted like it was the most outrageous thing you've ever heard. I literally just spit out. That I could walk on water. No, come on, man. No. I'm just saying. I'm looking at pure facts. I'm not talking about the season. There's been 6 games in the season. Yeah. What James Harden did last year was MVP like. That's better than what Kevin Durant. That's better than what Kevin Durant's putting out. Okay. What Steph Curry's doing from last year in the playoffs and this year was better than what Kevin Durant's doing. What Russell Westbrook had to do when
old Kevin Durant is vintage Kevin Durant. When Kevin Durant's
we're 6 games in. When Kevin Durant's foot starts to hurt and we got to sit him down, you're still going to say he's better than everybody.
Starts to hurt, but you can't say. So when Russell Westbrook's knee starts to hurt, what are we going to say? You can't say. You can't
he's gonna play. He played with a broken face.
Oh my God.
He played with a broken face.
Kevin Durant averaged 25 on a hurt foot, and then he had to eventually.
And then he sat down.
He had to, and Russell Westbrook hurt his knee and was out.
Hey, Kobe made 2 free throws on a torn Achilles.
Okay, come on. And LeBron had back issues, sat out.
But LeBron's sweet. LeBron caught cramps in the finals and quit.
My point is, from what we've seen this season, I can't say James Harden is better than Kevin Durant. I can't say Russell Westbrook better than Kevin Durant.
I'm sorry, I can't say a season when it's 6 games. When we've seen from this year's worth of exhibitions, yeah, maybe.
Oh, this year's
it's not a season. I mean, 6 games isn't a season, man.
They beat the Spurs opening night practically, so they did.
So we're gonna base season assumptions on a game, the first game played in the season.
No, but you're saying exhibition. You're saying exhibition. These games count,
bro. The first game of a season is when you're gonna have the most mistakes and most errors that you're gonna have in an entire season. So we're basing
against Kawhi Leonard.
Russell Westbrook played better than him in that game.
Against Kawhi Leonard, he got guarded by the defensive player of the year. And he was still putting up numbers on him against Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard switched between the two. No, Russell had 33 and Kevin had 22.
No. He was on Kevin Durant predominantly the whole game. Whenever Kevin Durant went out, Kawhi Leonard went out. Whenever Kevin Durant came back in, Kawhi Leonard came back in. Look, they put what's it called? Danny Green on Russell Westbrook. That's what they did.
I think you're disrespecting Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
I'm not disrespecting. I think you're disrespecting both of them. I'm giving Kevin Durant his respect. I mean, just because you hurt your foot and you go out.
But I'm not the only one who thinks this. You can look this up. You can look at ESPN's list. He's not even number 2 on there.
I would like to see ESPN's list.
Please, please pull it up.
Because I need to see ESPN's list because I can dissect each player that they have above Kevin Durant if his name ain't Steph Curry or LeBron James. Yeah,
that's Sports Illustrated. I saw ESPN's list and he was not number 2.
Well, he's number two on that.
Yeah, on Sports Illustrated. Yeah, but he's not number 2 to me. Please pull up ESPN's list.
James Harden is not as good a defender as Kevin Durant. He's not as good a scorer as Kevin Durant.
Neither is Steph Curry. Well, Steph Curry's as good a scorer, but not as defender.
Steph Curry's as good a scorer as Kevin Durant.
Yeah, no, I agree with scoring, but not as good as defending.
Yeah, James Harden is practically just a
James
James
Harden's a turnstile. I know that.
We're talking about I can't say James Harden is that guy because I mean James Harden. If you put him on defense and you're like
Chef Boy's a beast.
We're taking a chance.
Chef Boy is a dog.
Oh, that's best point guard.
Whenever we figure it out, we'll come back to it.
That's why I accepted Steph Curry I would accept Steph Curry ahead of Kevin Durant because Steph Curry's proven this. And he's
so what you're saying to you is what you're saying is that you think Kevin Durant is the third best player in the league right now.
I think it's up to debate. The top three can go in rotation. I think LeBron's the best. I do agree. I think Steph is up in the conversation. Is worthy to have the conversation.
So basically, you think it's LeBron and then Steph Curry's 2A and B and 2B.
Honestly, to me, for the longest time, it's been LeBron and Kevin Durant 1A, 1B. But right now, I think it's Kevin Durant. It's Kevin Durant and Steph Curry 2A, 2B. Just depending on how whoever is feeling that night. Because they're both striking. Steph Curry's on another world right now. Like. He shot 7 of 11 from 3 yesterday. Like, why?
Is that Sports Illustrated or ESPN?
They
got Anthony Davis above
ESPN
him.
has LeBron.
Kevin Durant's still number 3.
Has LeBron, Anthony Davis.
Kevin Durant, but here's the thing though. If you put this in,
and this was before the season started.
Yeah.
So this how they
going off last year.
Yeah, and they still had Kevin Durant at 3.
See, but I'm saying if you put that in there, if you put that in perspective. They're saying they think LeBron and Anthony Davis are better than KD. Then you have Kevin Durant at 3 and then Steph at 4. But you were openly acknowledging that you would agree that Steph Curry is better than Kevin. So
no, I say it's a rotation. I said it's a rotation. I said
if it's a rotation,
it can be interchangeable.
But what I'm saying is if it's a rotation,
it depends on how you feel it.
If it's a rotation, even with that list, Kevin Durant could fall to 4. Even on, I'm just saying, based on that.
He's not going to 4.
You're contradicting yourself now. Because if it could be a rotation and Steph Curry's 4, but I'm saying based on that list, if it's a rotation to you, if it's a rotation to you, based off that list, based off of what you said, if Steph is 4 and Kevin is 3, if it's a rotation, that means that Kevin could be 4.
This is whose ranks I wanted to see. I wanted to see LeBron's rank. I wanted to see Steph Curry's rank, and I wanted to see Kevin Durant's rank. I don't care about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis hasn't looked like no second best player in the league. Stop it.
But you just said he's getting guarded by 3 people. That's not fair.
He is getting guarded by 3 people. But so has
Kevin Durant only getting guarded by 1.
So who's LeBron getting guarded by?
One with cornrows.
And the defensive player of the year, man. Come on.
Should have been Draymond.
And LeBron got guarded by Carmelo Anthony last night and struggled. So
well, Carmelo got the straps all of a sudden.
I'm just saying he's not no Kawhi Leonard. And Kevin Durant and put up numbers on Kawhi Leonard. I'm not saying he had his way with Kawhi, but he still got buckets on Kawhi Leonard.
And think about it. But to be fair, you have to be fair. Melo always gives LeBron bumps. Since they've been in the league, he always gives LeBron bumps.
Kawhi Leonard gives everybody the bump on defense. So, I can't just say, Melo gives LeBron the bump every time. Melo's not a defender. Everybody's known that. Melo's never been regarded as a defender, but LeBron struggles against Carmelo Anthony for whatever reason.
Because he always comes to play him.
And then some days, LeBron lights up Carmelo, but Carmelo lights up LeBron. It's just how it works. But what I wanted to see from that list is where Steph Curry was ranked and where Kevin Durant was ranked. Even coming off the injury, they still said Kevin Durant was the 3rd best behind LeBron and Anthony Davis. Taking Anthony Davis out of the equation, I don't think he was 2nd best. So practically in my eyes,
before this year started, you didn't think Anthony Davis was 2nd best.
Anthony Davis led the league in player efficiency last season.
He did because he was the Pelicans.
Okay.
You're right. When you are a team, you're going to lead the team in player efficiency rating. You're right. When you're on the court and the team performs better with you on the court, your player efficiency rating is going to be way higher.
But here's my thing. You know what else I'm going off of? You know what else I'm going off of? Here's my problem with this analysis here. Kevin Durant on his team currently has Russell Westbrook, MVP candidate, Serge Ibaka, borderline defensive player of the year candidate. He used to be. That's because the great Scott Brooks. Old coach, the great Scott Brooks, messed his game all up. What I'm saying is, so Serge Ibaka isn't a good player. Wait.
Scott Brooks not mess up his defense now.
No, time out. Scott Brooks, not Scott Brooks. Serge Ibaka isn't a good player. Then let me continue. Let me continue my point.
All right, go on.
He has an MVP candidate. He has Serge Ibaka. He has other various pieces in his canner coming off the bench, averaging doubles. Other various pieces to help him out. It's irresponsible for you to put more than one person on Kevin Durant because then somebody else is going to go off. Anthony Davis does have no one else on that team that could take any sort of pressure off of him. James Harden last year had to hurt Dwight Howard for half of the season. And are we really going to say that Trevor Ariza is as much support as Russell Westbrook? Are we really going to say that?
But
what I'm saying is based on your team and the output that you put to your team, I'm going to say you're better. I'm not saying Kevin Durant is crap. I'm not saying that he's not looking as good as he used to. I'm just saying what the guys that I listed meant to their team from last year. Because I'm not going off of the 6 games of this season. When we get 32 games in, 40 games in, I'll give you a very good, up-to-date, detailed list of who I think it is. Based off of last season and what I saw and the impressions that were left on me, those guys deserve those spots. Okay, Kevin Durant was hurt. Let me
interject real quick. So, because you're saying Kevin Durant has an MVP candidate, which Russell Westbrook wasn't an MVP candidate until Kevin Durant got hurt. Till he got hurt. Russell Westbrook hasn't been an MVP candidate until he got hurt. Kevin Durant was the former MVP until he got hurt. Let's not forget this. It was Kevin Durant. He was the MVP until Steph Curry won it this past year. And so if you're saying that Kevin Durant, just because he doesn't get guarded by 3 people, so what's the case for LeBron James? LeBron James has Kyrie Irving. He has Kevin Love, who on the Timberwolves was regarded as a.
I've made that point before too. I've made that point before too.
Let me finish my point. Because what I'm saying is James Harden, because you're making the case of James Harden, all these guys, they have help. But I'm saying just because Kevin Durant has a guy who was the MVP candidate this past season, you can't say that, Kevin Durant still, just because he doesn't get guarded by all these guys. Kevin Durant still gets a lot of attention on the team. That's why that team clicks. The reason why that team, they were in a big hole because Kevin Durant wasn't there. There were a lot of games last season. People would have said the Thunder would have went to the finals if Kevin Durant wasn't there. Kevin Durant sure as hell took the Thunder further than they went with Russell Westbrook. So, I mean.
That's true, but Russell Westbrook didn't have Serge Ibaka either.
We're gonna have.
He got hurt. He got hurt.
He did get hurt.
He got hurt.
But Kevin Durant didn't have Enes Kanter like Russell Westbrook did either.
Yeah, but he had Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka. Come on.
No, Kevin Durant, when Russell Westbrook was out, Kevin Durant played without, and he played without Serge Ibaka for a little bit too. Let's not take away credit from Kevin Durant.
I'm not trying to take credit away from him. I'm giving him respect by even putting him up that high. I'm going off of last season.
But I'm saying
you were hurt and you didn't do.
So we're going off of last season.
You're going off of 6 games. I'm going off a season.
I'm going off of Kevin Durant even last season on a hurt foot, he averaged 25. And Russell Westbrook only won was only an MVP candidate because Kevin Durant wasn't there.
Okay, but here's my thing. If he wasn't as great as he is, when Kevin Durant went down, he would have shrunk under pressure. He wouldn't even been in the conversation. It's more of an attribute to Russell Westbrook that he was even in the contribution.
I'm not taking away from Russell Westbrook's
but it seems like you are because you're saying, because Kevin Durant, then he got attention. No, because Kevin Durant got hurt, he had to step up, and that's what he did for his team.
But we're acting like
he put up.
But you're saying we can't.
He literally has as many triple doubles as LeBron does.
He does. And he's the point guard. You're right. And LeBron is the point forward. So, I mean, it makes it easier for you to get triple doubles. But what my case is the fact that you're saying we can't go off these past few games, but we're seeing the same old Kevin Durant that won the MVP prior to last season.
What I'm seeing is teams looking at Kevin Durant like you just came off a foot injury. I don't think you're going to be the same, and he's torching him for it. But I'm seeing Anthony Davis catching triple teams. I'm seeing James Harden catching double teams. What I'm saying is Kevin Durant is hurt. Teams are coming into the season thinking.
What double teams is James Harden getting?
James Harden's been getting double teams since the season started.
No,
he was
in the paint, maybe yes.
Okay.
No, not the way Anthony Davis has been getting teamed on.
I didn't say it was the same thing as Anthony Davis at all. I never said that.
But we can't keep going on. I want to hear what you had to say, but because we only got like a few minutes.
When you brought up Kevin Durant talking about how LeBron basically get the same attention, double team and stuff. You got to look at what LeBron averaged. LeBron basically averaged a triple double when Kevin Durant doesn't. This is what I'm trying to say. But even though because they garner the same attention, so what LeBron can make more of that at the attention than Kevin Durant does. That's why LeBron's still over top of him like that.
Okay, and that's a great point, and that's why LeBron's the best player. But I'm saying James Harden, Russell Westbrook, the rest of those guys aren't better than Kevin Durant because LeBron, you just know they're the best player in the game. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm giving LeBron credit. LeBron's the best player. You're right. LeBron's the best player in the game. But I'm saying, who's next? Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant does what he does scores better than LeBron, just doesn't average as many assists. He averages just amount of rebounds.
Why does Steph Curry do that? Steph Curry has the same stats as him, but better than Kevin Durant. He made it.
And who did I say was in rotation? I said Steph Curry.
That's in rotation, though. You didn't say he was better.
I said it depends on the person. I said it's 2A, 2B. I said it's 2A, 2B. Did I not say it was 2A, 2B for Steph Curry and Kevin Durant?
No, you did, but there is no 2A's and B's. Somebody got to be third. Somebody got to be third. You told us to drop 5.
If we're going off this season, Steph Curry's better than Kevin Durant. If we're going so far off this season.
That's all I want
to say. As an overall player, That's what I've been saying this whole time. But y'all want to
No,
throw
you
Russell
said
Westbrook.
you said interchangeable.
No,
You've been saying interchangeable, so you just admitted that he was better than him.
No, I'm saying based off this season, yes. But I'm saying you guys were trying to put Anthony Davis.
No, don't say you
James
guys.
Harden,
No, don't say you guys.
Westbrook.
Don't say you guys. It was me.
Okay, you were.
Me
I apologize
in
to
general.
I apologize to you two. But Anthony Davis ain't better than Kevin Durant. Anthony Davis ain't better than Steph Curry. I'm sorry, Anthony Davis is not better than those guys. Maybe
I don't agree with ESPN's list, but I agree that Anthony Davis should be up there.
Anthony Davis in the top 5.
He should be in this discussion of top 5 out of respect. Out of respect to what he did last year, he should be up there. Just out of respect.
And
because if you got him at
Kevin
6,
Durant's the reigning MVP, and out of respect, we were about to boo him to number 5.
But that's still in the top 5. I said out of respect, a guy coming off a hurt foot.
I'm saying,
think about it this way. Think about the disrespect that Kobe got coming off of injuries. I'm giving him respect by putting him up in the top 5.
A guy is a former MVP, averages 25 on a hurt foot.
Kobe was a former MVP.
Averages 25 on a hurt foot. A hurt foot's ended players' careers. He averages 25 on one, and we're talking about he's barely scraping the top. Okay, if you're telling me he's 5th, so that means you're putting Anthony Davis above him, or Russell Westbrook, or James Harden.
Anthony Davis wasn't in my list.
I'm just saying, when we were talking about, you said he dropped the 5th, but we got to go on. So moving on to the Colts. We're gonna talk about the Colts, and then firing their offensive coordinator. I don't know if that was.
I've been waiting for this.
I don't know if that was the solution, man.
I've been waiting for this.
Pep Hamilton. I feel like he was the fall guy ultimately in all
Howard
this.
University.
You know what I mean? Like, the Colts haven't been good on defense, funny enough, but yet you fired the offensive coordinator. And this is their defensive rankings. They rank 29th in total yards defense, 28th in pass defense, 30th in rush defense, and 23rd in total points. And yet their offense has ranked in total points. The Colts have ranked 15th in total points. Their offense has ranked 19th in rushing. In total yards, their offense ranks 10th, and in passing yards, their offense ranks 11th. So their offense is in the top is in at least the top half of the league, and on all the offensive categories, while their defense is scraping near bottom. But yet you fired the offensive coordinator. So was he the fall guy because of the way the season's going? I mean, technically the Colts still lead the division. This is a very bad division, though. Terrible division. AFC South, man, get out of there. But it's terrible division. But do y'all think he deserved to be fired? Like, was it justified? Khalid, we're going to start off with you. Do you think that Pep Hamilton should have been fired, and you think he deserved it, or was he just merely the fall guy in a season that hasn't been what they expected?
I don't think he should have been fired. They should have got rid of the defensive coordinator, since their defense is crap. What their reason was for firing him was because they didn't perform throughout the first half of their games, and they had too many fourth quarter comebacks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And which is like, I mean, they still came back, but they just weren't consistent throughout the games.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they should have fired him, especially mid-season, like in week 9. Now you got to bring in a coach that the offense isn't used to playing with, and then he was already doing fairly well with the offense. It was just the defense having problems. It's just going to make the game shaky now for Andrew Luck and the rest of that offense. And Andrew Luck is hurt. Like, that man is upset over this loss.
All right, Rudy, what do you think? Actually, no, yeah, Rashad.
You might want to go to Rashad.
You're gonna go on.
Why are we talking about the offensive coordinator when we need to be talking about Andrew Suck? Because he is trash. He is trash.
No, I had one too.
You had one too. He's trash. They have 3 wins. 2 came from Matt Hasselbeck. Ever since he played, he's had 2 interceptions in every game except the New England Patriots, where he had 0 interceptions, but they still lost. He's awful. Bench him. Keep the offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator, what he's doing. Because apparently, when Matt Hasselbeck's in the game, they win. When you have Andrew Suck in, they lose.
Why you say his name so?
Go ahead, Rudy. Go ahead. Go ahead. Throwing the oop to you, bro. Throwing the oop.
Oh, y'all are funny.
Catch that, John. All right. Andrew Suck, like the name, a.k.a. Andrew No Luck, a.k.a. Andrew Apple Turnover, has decreased in value every single year. But, like you said, I'm going soliloquy here. The Colts.
Mindful. We're going to get, what's it called?
It's going to be a couple minutes soliloquy.
Oh, my God.
The Colts are a horrible organization run by clowns and fools. This is a freak show joke of an organization going right now. First of all, the man hasn't had any protection up front since he's been there. That's the GM's fault. He's the one who acquires the players. But he didn't get in trouble. The defense sucks. But he didn't get in trouble. They played.
Is Chuck Pagano?
Chuck Pagano's the head coach.
I'm saying, does he call defensive plays too?
No. They have a coordinator for that who's god awful at his job. Is pretty much a monkey calling plays out there. Chuck Pagano calls a Pop Warner trick play wrong in a game, and he didn't get in trouble. They need to take a top-down approach to this. And what I mean is burn it with fire. Fire everybody. Everybody. I'm talking about the GM needs to go. Pagano, gotta go. Defensive coordinator, gotta go. Those offensive linemen, they's got to go. Them wide receivers, not working. Andre Johnson, get out of here. Frank Gore, get out of here. T.Y. Hilton can't catch a ball anymore. Get out of here. Andrew Luck, you need to go to the same quarterback coach that Winston went to because you're getting outplayed by a rookie, son. Get back on the bench. You're terrible. Matt Hasselbeck, 40-year-old Matt Hasselbeck is winning games. They are horrible. They are awful. And the division is horrible. They need to take notes from the worst team in the division, which happens to be my team, Tennessee Titans. Mariota got hurt.
Y'all worse than the Texans?
We're 1-6 and still have a chance to win this division. Anyways, the Titans went out and said, oh, Mariota got hurt? You wasn't protecting the quarterback? We not scoring points. You were 3-21 as a coach in your last 24 games. You know what they did? They fired the head coach, the one that's in charge of everything. Not the guy who's doing a pretty decent job. They fired the guy that's in charge. Fire the guy that's calling backyard football plays. Fire the guy who has the defense that's ranked number 29. Fire the guy that can't sign an offensive lineman to save his life. Fire the guy that can't get a wide receiver, a tight end, a defensive back, a safety. Fire the guy. Do you know who the Colts have drafted the last 2 or 3 years? I'm just saying. Do you know who the Colts have drafted the last 3 years? I'll just hold on. Wait.
Nobody.
They've drafted the equivalent of a bagged lunch.
Traded away the first round draft pick.
They've literally traded away and drafted the equivalent of a bagged lunch with a note from your mom, and it not even being the right one. Like it's like your mom made 2 bagged lunches and you grabbed the one for your sister. That's how good they've been at drafting. They're horrible. They've drafted not even a peanut butter cup. You don't even get that. You get no sweets. You got apple slices and a bologna sandwich with no cheese. That's what their draft picks have been like. They are horrible. They suck. And this isn't just disdain for this organization. I just don't like stupidity. You drafted Bjorn Werner.
Yeah.
He plays.
Yeah, bro.
He plays. His job is getting driven 20 yards downfield.
That's the point.
You drafted Bjorn Werner.
There. You never know he was there.
You drafted Bjorn Werner.
He's on the field.
And you drafted you traded away 4 draft picks. 4 to get Trent Richardson. Trent Richardson is the equivalent of, I'm trying to think of someone so bad that I can compare him to. I need a second. He's not quite Kwame, but he's close.
His hands.
This guy, Trent Richardson, Jamarcus Russell are running backs. He is horrible. You could literally have both teams on the sidelines and he wouldn't know which lane to run through that's open. He's horrible. This guy can't sniff a first down or an end zone. He is the worst. He had a 1.2 average. He had a 1.2 average of rush yards. Darren Sproles is better than that. Darren Sproles is like 4'11", running the ball back there. That's a joke, by the way. He's like 5'6". But Trent Richardson is awful. The decisions that this team has made is awful. I don't even know how they get these guys dressed to go out for the game on the weekends. I'm surprised they know what their team colors are. They are horrible. Hey,
he's going in.
He's going in. Trent Richardson is as bad as Javid Best, and Javid Best not even playing in the league anymore.
Javid Best might be a scale above Trent Richardson. At least he had breakaway ability. Trent Richardson don't even got that. His highlight of his entire career was running over an unprepared Browns player. And come on, the Browns. Huh.
Used to play for the
Browns. Exactly. Come on. Let's talk about another organization who makes horrible decisions.
Hey,
the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, sheesh. I mean, Rudy practically said it all on the Colts. I mean, you fire the offensive coordinator. But I also feel like honestly, it wasn't the organization really didn't want that offensive coordinator in place, and they were kind of biding their time because I feel like Chuck Pagano got the job, but he got the staff he didn't exactly want in totality.
He hires the staff.
No, but Pep Hamilton was already there, and that was a dude under Jim Irsay that was there. So I think Chuck Pagano wasn't really fully supportive.
See, but what you do in that situation is when you come in and you're the head honcho, you fire him then. Yeah. You don't wait till 9 games in a season when he's doing his job correctly to fire him because you're because you're a horrible head coach. Come on. You saw the play they ran against the New England Patriots.
You saw what Bill Belichick said? Bill Belichick was like, what was that?
Everyone was like, what was that? Everyone in the stadium. Did you see the fans? Yeah. They were like,
oh man, we need that Virginia Tech fan. That was
it was Virginia. It was UVA. He was over the railing. He was over the look, like that. I don't know what to say about this organization. I hope, and I don't like anyone else in the division being a Titans fan, but I literally hope that either the Titans, Jaguars, or Texans can please come back and take this division, because this team does not deserve to win the division, and they do not deserve to go to the playoffs. And this is the same team that cried wolf on the Patriots about cheating, and look at them now. Yeah. Now they can't win if the balls are inflated.
Well, you know the sad.
He's got Andrew Luck can't throw it to the right team if the ball's inflated properly, so it doesn't really matter.
Hold 1 second. You know the funny thing is, it is legit karma, but the crazy thing is that your division is so bad that they can get into the playoffs anyway.
Whoever wins the division this year might be 6-10. To be absolutely honest, the winner of this division might be 6-10.
It's looking like the NFC South of last year.
And let me add one more thing, because I haven't gotten on Andrew Luck enough yet here. At the end of the day, we all know he sucks. At the end of the day,
13
it is not Pep Hamilton's fault that y'all lost to the Panthers because you threw an interception. I've never seen a play called throw an interception. I've never seen that play written up. We have literally seen where he will have wide open receivers underneath and he will force it to men downfield with double coverage. That is his fault. That is not Pep Hamilton's fault. I'm pretty sure Pep Hamilton doesn't ring into his headset like, hey, Andrew, buddy, I'm going to need you to throw it to Brian Arakpo. I'm pretty sure that's not what he says. Hey, Andrew, I'm going to need you to get sacked and just fumble. Push it towards the end zone, though, so they can score. These aren't drawn up like that. This is his fault. This is his fault. He's playing horrible. I don't see why no one can ever say he's playing bad. They just have to give him some sort of excuse. But when it's RG3, he's the worst guy ever. When it's Marcus Mariota, when it's Jameis Winston, they had a bad game. They did this. But when it's Andrew Luck, there is no wrong. We just point out the good.
Why is Kirk Cousins better than Andrew Luck this season?
I do think Andrew Luck. Wow.
Kirk Cousins is better than Andrew Luck this season.
I do think Andrew Luck is being held. I think he is. This season, he's being held accountable a little better, but I mean, there are still the excuses like the offensive line, the no run game. People are giving excuses, but I'm saying he is being held accountable by some people. He's being held accountable, but we have to move on. Rudy's gonna go on forever on the Colts. He's gonna destroy the whole organization.
What organization? That's a circus. That's Ringling Brothers in Indianapolis. That's what it is.
They're winning the division
because the division is horrible.
A
team that 1-6 has a chance to win the division.
It's like I'm telling you, it's like the NFC South of last year. It's like the NFC South of last year. Panthers got him with like what?
They were like 7-9, maybe.
Yeah,
they had a tie.
They had one tie.
They might have been 6-8-1.
Yeah,
they're 6-8-1.
And that division just went to grips last year.
Hey, but the Panthers came in the playoffs and won some games, or won a game.
Yeah. Against the
Cardinals team with no quarterback. Yeah, the Cardinals team with all three of those quarterbacks is better than the Indianapolis team with that quarterback. So I'm pretty sure John Skilton and Ryan Lindley could have done better.
Guys,
than what
we're gonna go on because these guys are gonna keep going in on the Colts.
No, so, Blaine Gabbert will have a better game this week than Andrew Luck will.
Stop it. I'll turn off his mic because he's gonna keep going. So I had to put him on pause. But going on till tonight, and we're gonna give our predictions. Who do y'all think? Give me quick NBA and NFL predictions. Tonight, the Bulls and Thunder are playing. I think that's going to be the TNT game, along with the Grizzlies and Trailblazers being the late game. Who do y'all think will win out of those matchups? Give me your quick just say who you got winning.
Bulls
and Thunder. Then there's Memphis and Trailblazers.
Oklahoma City, Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Portland and Oklahoma City. They're surprising team. Hey, the Trailblazers are surprising.
That's Lillard's been dropping 30 a game.
Yeah. CJ McCollum's been balling too. Okay, for the NFL, we got tonight. You got Browns, Bengals. Who y'all got winning that?
That's not a conversation. That's not even.
Go ahead, Rashad.
Menzel. I'm kidding.
I'm sorry, Nigel, but the Bengals will decimate Johnny Manziel and throw the money signs in his face once again.
All right, Colin.
Destroy them.
Okay. Redskins, Patriots.
They play tonight?
No, they play Sunday.
Patriots. Is that a question?
No.
Why'd you even read that?
I had to go through the teams, man. Rashad, you got Patriots too. Okay. Rams, Vikings. Todd Gurley versus AP.
Todd Gurley's gonna have a better game, but the Vikings will win the game. Nick Foles passing isn't strong enough.
The Rams is gonna win this game.
I think the Rams will win too.
All right. Packers, Panthers.
Done my man Teddy. Oh, ooh.
That is-
Panthers.
Defense.
Rogers comes
man.
back. Packers. Rogers comes back.
Rogers throws more picks. Panthers.
Titans, Saints.
The return of the Duck. Titans win.
It's a tie.
I want to. Yeah. I want to say
That's a
Titans,
good
too.
answer.
That is a good answer.
That's a good answer. Dolphins, Bills. The divisional matchup.
That's an ugly game, but I'm gonna go with if Tyrod Taylor plays, then the Bills might possibly not turn the ball over 10 times. So the Bills.
The Dolphins.
Dolphins too.
Okay. Jaguars, Jets.
Jets.
Don't answer the question.
No, the Jaguars will make this game competitive, but the Jets will win.
And then watch us have to come in here on Tuesday because the Jaguars gonna win the game. The Jets gonna lose. Watch. It's gonna happen. We're gonna come in here on Tuesday.
I said they'll be competitive.
All right. Raiders, Steelers.
Raiders.
Giants, Buccaneers.
Bucks. My man Jameis Winston balling out.
Giants.
All right. 49ers, Falcons.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Quit the jokes. Let's keep it rolling. Falcons. Let's come on.
Broncos.
Didn't know this was comedy hour.
Broncos and Colts.
We ain't even gotta mention
Again, I didn't know this was comedy hour.
Who's starting? Is Matt Hasselbeck starting? Andrew?
No, it's Andrew Suck. Come on.
Eagles, Cowboys. Tony Romo's practicing this week.
Tony Romo can't play till the 23rd.
It's gonna, but I still think the Cowboys are gonna win. The Eagles are a butt team.
Okay. Bears and Chargers.
Ew, Bears, but ew.
Yeah.
Is that the Monday night
Chargers
game?
Just lost Keenan Allen, so
That's a Monday night game.
Who paid someone to put that game on Monday night?
San Diego got a lot of money. So did Chicago.
I'm just saying, who paid someone to put that game?
Y'all the Sunday night game, right? I think. Yeah, y'all probably are because everybody loves the Cowboys. Nah, for real, this Cowboys get all TV time.
You want to give us a quick
we
rundown?
we live in Washington and we live in pretty much the DC metropolitan area and we get all Cowboy games. Like,
well, you know, you got to get tired of seeing the Redskins.
Yeah, but this is a Redskin territory, and then you get all Cowboy games on TV. I mean,
but they show they're always 4:15, 8 o'clock. That's always the games they show on everybody.
No, but I mean, whenever
we haven't put a good team to get game of the week on 4.
Bruh, the Eagles aren't good.
No, this is the late game. Late game's always shown.
No, I know the only show.
And we thought the Eagles were going to be better, though. To be fair.
Yeah, I guess when they're making the schedule, yeah.
You know, but Sam Bradford, you know.
Yeah, but anyway, that's gonna wrap up the show, y'all. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Check us out on our YouTube page at KBR Sports. Follow us on Twitter on KBR_sports, where you can see our show topics before every show, and you can watch our past shows and past segments on our YouTube channel at KBR Sports, and also watch our past shows on WODU Live, their YouTube channel, and go on there and subscribe, y'all, and you get your good amount of laughs.
One thing.
So, go ahead.
Please tweet us your Andrew Luck memes.
Oh man, he had a near butt fumble this past week. I was like, Andrew Luck.
If
If y'all tweet us your Andrew Luck memes, we will show them.
We will bring the best ones.
Yeah, we'll show them. And for anybody that ever wants to call in, because y'all be, I don't know, y'all don't be trying to call in and embracing the bait. Y'all text but don't call. So you can call in at 757-683-4405. My man's at work. He's grinding. But if he calls on the job, you get in trouble. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Y'all have a great morning.
I was joking about Sebastian Telfair. Don't blow me up in the comments.
Oh, gosh.